A man recently died from a bacteria he got while swimming in the Gulf of Mexico. The victim's mother says that he was in waist-deep water when he contracted the Vibrio infection. Joining us now with more on this topic is Dr. Michael Kim. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Kim. What exactly is Vibrio vulnificus?
Well, Vibrio vulnificus is a bacteria similar to cholera, and it's found in salty waters in the warm Gulf. And there have been about 100 cases a year around the Gulf states. And as you can see, that it's very, very serious when you get this infection. The mortality rate of this little bugger that gets in either through your skin, through cut skin in the water, or through raw shellfish from warm water, has half those people will die.
Oh my gosh.
So we have anywhere from 50 to 75 people a year dying from this a year in the Gulf states.
And so it's mainly in the Gulf states, and you can get it from all kinds of different means, correct?
Correct. So how do you get infected? Well, people with usually immunocompromised, whether you have liver problems, immunocompromised, let's say antibody deficiency. If you eat raw oysters from warm climate areas, it can cause severe, severe infection. Half of those patients die. Swimming with an open wound in the Gulf can cause this. So anyone with swimming in an open wound, you should be very careful and either seal it up or don't go out in the Gulf. Because if you get this infection, even though it's relatively rare, half of those patients who get this wound infections, as you can see, the blisters, they pop up within 1 or 2 days. By the time you see this, half those patients require amputation.
Oh my gosh, complete amputation.
Right, and if you get the bug from the ingesting food, half those patients die.
My gosh.
Yeah.
How do you know? Is it something that you do know right away if you have this and you need to seek medical attention?
Well, unfortunately, the treatment of choice is early detection and high suspicion. So a lot of these patients, the reason they die is they're overlooked and you think it's just a regular infection. So you have to have high index of suspicion of a Vibrio infection. And luckily, again, there's only about 50 patients who die a year in the United States, about 10 a year in Florida, so it's a very rare problem. But we should treat it very seriously.
And there are some ways to avoid it. Obviously, you're not recommending that you completely avoid shellfish or something like that. There's ways to prepare it to try to avoid this type of contamination, right?
Well, again, don't eat raw oysters in warm climates. Particularly, we're talking about patients who have cirrhosis or liver problems or immunocompromised states. Healthy people probably can get away with it. Cook your shellfish. Avoid cross-contamination. Avoid exposure, as we said, to open wounds. Even apparently an ant bite has been shown. If you're immunocompromised, let's say you're going through chemotherapy or radiation, and then you get a cut and you go into the water, you can get this infection. Wear protective clothing. So really the warning should be mostly pointed at patients or people who have some reason to get the infection. For example, liver cirrhosis, hepatitis, going through chemo. Those patients need to be very careful when they go in the water in the Gulf.
All right, Dr. Kim, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And of course, we'll put all of that information for you on our website, which is weeknews.com. We're going to be right back with a check of your weather and traffic and a look at this morning's top stories. You're watching Week News This Morning on WXCW.